mathematics is only available to so few people. It's like it's like trying to explain to someone who is deaf how beautiful music is. It's the interconnections between certain abstractions that are surprising and that have lots of impact. And I think that's part of the beauty of mathematics. Well, I decided to stay in mathematics because I found the subject much more elegant and satisfying than the physics courses I sat in on, which seemed to me pretty archaic and not modern. At the same time that I was in the math program, I sat in on a course in quantum mechanics. It was a repetition of the course I'd had as an undergraduate that forced me to think more about math. The course wasn't any different, whereas the mathematics I was learning was very elegant, stimulating, and so I decided I would stay with beauty than the ugliness of what was then purported to be the derivation of quantum mechanics. The basic elements, when you understand them, turn out to be simple and elegant in the sense of how they're put together. So I think its beauty and elegance is how different things get put together, simple things get put together and explain complicated matters. I believe I've been an effective ambassador between math and physics because I recognized early how much geometry fitted into high-energy theoretical physics above and beyond the geometry that occurs in relativity. There was a lot of analysis involved there, and luckily Tia and I discovered that index theory played an important role in explaining things called anomalies in string theory, so that what we were doing turned out to be important. The Ray Singer collaboration came about because his office was next to mine, and I walked in one day and he was computing what's called Reidemeister torsion for the three-sphere, a long computation, and he was computing ratios of determinants. And I said, well, that's a very fancy computation and you're trying to get it by such and such methods. It seems to me if this torsion is independent of the metric, one ought to be able to prove that on general grounds and not by computational methods. Ray was a brilliant mathematician, really brilliant. I enjoyed his company very much, and that started our collaboration. We ended up showing that you could describe this topological invariant in terms of analysis in determinants. We had to define generalized determinants in order to do that. Regularized determinants, they're called. Take their appropriate ratio. It all depended on the metric of the space and prove that it was independent of the metric. That was rather revolutionary to try and do. And I must say that some very prominent mathematicians of an older generation who had tried to get some geometric insight into that torsion came and congratulated us on doing it by such novel methods. Do I feel that it's an exploration that I'm talking about here? Yes, I'm always exploring. That's quite right. I'm always exploring is a good metaphor. And I think of this vast forest, and I think if I can only just start a path in such and such a direction, I'm quite happy. And when it turns out that that path turns into a highway, that's really remarkable. But that's the past. We're off to looking for new paths.